This work is an analysis which ends with a proposition of a solution to one of the biggest problems of our time. It is the problem of energy and its sources. Basing on the vision of renewable energy and mathematical models that represent certain physical phenomena, at the end, we could put a theory that can be useful to give a birth to a new vision of energy concept. The presentation of this work was made in a detailed way and easy to understand by anyone who has done technical class. From the law of magnetic field, we replace the characteristics of an electron, size, speed, shape, etc. This led us to one of the most verified laws of electricity, the Coulomb law. Basing on this result, we introduced another real parameter, which is relativity of physical quantities. And this brought us to a very important conclusion, the existence of infinite energy. Here we will talk about a very basic phenomenon of the behavior of matter. It was also the first phenomena that made humankind thinking about electricity. At the beginning, I will take the first example used to explain electricity in the first curse of electricity everywhere in the world. It is the force that attracts light bodies like dust and paper to, for example, glass objects rubbed with dry coal. The question that arises in order to understand the source of this attraction is, what is the source of this energy that results this displacement of those light bodies? When moving from its initial position to the glass bar, the energy used is E equal to mgh, where m is the mass of this light body, g is the gravity, and h is the distance between initial position of this light body and the final position in the glass bar. So now we will take the case where a lot of bodies are moved from the ground to the glass bar. The energy used to move all these light bodies is E equal sum of mighi, where mi is the mass of every light body, g is the gravity, and hi is the distance between the initial position of each light body and the glass bar. Now we'll take another example in the same context. If we imagine that this dust will be eliminated just when arrived to the glass bar, so another dust will take its place, and so on follows even if we repeat this experiment for an infinite time. Because following the works of Mr. Gauss, who gave very profound explanation to the works of Kirchhoff, the charge cancels each other. So if we eliminate the light body who was attracted by the glass bar, the charge he will release in the glass bar will attract another glass body who have another charge. Because we know charges eliminate each other when there is not charge that eliminates the charge in the glass bar, so this charge will attract another charge in the dust, and so on. F equal Q over 4p s squared epsilon 0. The similar experiment to this one is replacing the glass bar by a magnet and dust by iron filing. In the next we will see that this is the same thing. To give a justification with a convincing draft that allows us to have an idea, a clear idea about the origin of this energy responsible for moving this body, for that we are going back to experiments in different areas, enabling us to get an idea of what we want. Following the experiments that satisfy laws of electromagnetism, optoelectronics, thermodynamics, and quantum mechanics, it is clear that an electromagnetic cloud is a part of construction of the atom. If we see the direction of electrostatic forces, we see that they are perpendicular to the flow of electromagnetic cloud. For an analysis that shows the whole picture of this phenomenon, we will use the Lorentz law that lies electric and magnetism. If we look at the expression of the Lorentz force, we can predict a sequence of magnetic and electric phenomena as follows. The presence of a charge under the influence of electric field E, we can observe the emergence of an electric force which will give acceleration to this charge. The motion of this charge will give rise to a magnetic force. Another set of equations that ties electricity to magnetism is Maxwell equations. If we take these equations to the static state, means that there is no field variation in function of time. You will notice an interesting thing about these four equations. It can be separated into two parts. The electric field E appears only in the first two, and the magnetic field B appears only in the second two. The two fields are not interconnected. This means that electricity and magnetism are distinct phenomena. The interdependence of E and B does not appear until there are changes in charge and current. The existence of magnetic field is due to existence of density of current, G over epsilon 0 T squared. So, if this current doesn't exist, it will not be a magnetic field. Something that we can understand about this is that everywhere where there is a magnetic field, there is a current to create it. If there is no current, there is no magnetic field. So, we will take a case where a charge turns on itself in closed circuits, creating current, which shows clearly by the first magnetic equation. We take an electron with the charge Q, which turns around itself, and then we will study the magnetic force with which it acts on another charge Q. The choice of this case, this charge that surrounds itself, is based on a real fact. We must return to a well-known phenomenon in the field of physics, which is the spin. The spin is known in classical mechanics as the angular momentum of rotation. For our study, it is enough for us that this is limited to a very basic definition that states that spin is a rotation of a particle around itself. In case of electron, this phenomenon creates a field of physical quantity corresponding to a torque. This very fundamental definition is sufficient for us. What we will do is trying to exploit this in the field of renewable energy. What we will do here is using this law to calculate the magnetic field of a charge that turns around itself. For this, we will use the physical properties of an electron and apply it in this law. It is well known experimentally that the value of a magnetic field is proportional to a current by a constant. Also known that this constant is equal to mu0 over 2πr. So, we will apply this law on a spherical charge of charge Q. The integral of v ds equal to mu0 I over 2πr. Surface of a sphere is 4πr squared. So, the equation becomes b for πr squared equal to mu0 e over 2πr. The choice of the surface is because of the fact that the distribution of charges is on the surface, is always on the surface. The choice of the surface is that the charge distribution is always on the surface. And so by simplification, this equation becomes b2r equal to mu0 I. We know this equation becomes b2r equal to mu0 I. We know that mu0 equal to 1 over epsilon 0 c squared. So, b2r equal to I over epsilon 0 c squared. And for the current of a charge that turns around itself, we have I equals to dq over dt. We have one only charge, so dq is, we have one only charge, so dq equals to q, and t is the period of one turn of the charge around itself. So the value of t is from the speed, 2πr over t. We take a circumference of a circle, so t equals to 2πr over v. Replacing in the last equation, e 2πr over v equals to q. I equals to vq over 2πr. We have now v for pr square equals to vq over epsilon 0 c square. So b equals to vq over 4pr square epsilon 0 c square. So if we take that this charge is an electron and replace the speed, we have the radius of an electron is equal to h over 4p mc. H is where h is the Planck constant and m is the mass of an electron. Taking the frequency of zeta beam, which equals to 4p mc square over h, we have so the speed equals to r omega. After simplification, we find that the speed of an electron that it turns around itself is c. So b equal to cq over 4p r square epsilon 0 c square. If an electron interacts with another electron, so automatically the two electrons have the same speed. If an electron interacts with another electron, so the second have, so v equal fqv b, where v equal to c. Here we will have F equal to qq over 4p r square epsilon 0. It is the Coulomb law, the electrostatic force, one of the most verified laws of electricity. Here, what we can understand from this is that there is no difference between magnetic force and electrostatic force. Magnetism and electricity are the same. They are not distinguishable. From the law of magnetism, we arrive to one of the most verified laws of electricity. It is the Coulomb law. So, what we can understand from this is that there is no difference between electricity and magnetism. They are the same phenomenon. H over 4p mc. H is where H is the Planck constant and m is the mass of an electron. Taking the frequency of zeta beam, which equals to 4p mc square over h, we have so the speed equals to r omega. After simplification, we find that the speed of an electron that it turns around itself is c. So b equal to cq over 4p r square epsilon 0 c square. If an electron interacts with another electron, so automatically the two electrons have the same speed. If an electron interacts with another electron, so the second have, so v equal fqv b, where v equal to c. Here we will have F equal to qq over 4p r square epsilon 0. It is the Coulomb law, the electrostatic force, one of the most verified laws of electricity. Here, what we can understand from this is that there is no difference between magnetic force and electrostatic force. Magnetism and electricity are the same. They are not distinguishable. From the law of magnetism, we arrived to one of the most verified laws of electricity. It is the Coulomb law. So, what we can understand from this is that there is no difference between electricity and magnetism. They are the same phenomenon. Now we will analyze these results using a relative vision. For more information, you can go to Richard Feynman, Lectures on Physics, Volume 2, mainly Electromagnetism and Matter. Chapter 4, 6, 7, and 13. These chapters explain exactly what I'm saying here in the part of relative analysis. The electron that turns around itself as shown by the speed of light. If we look to this phenomenon with an energy vision, the results will be different. From the scalar nature of energy, so the energy formula will be ER is the energy relative of a charge between the two charges, Q over 4P epsilon 0 R over the root of 1 minus V squared over C squared. And as shown previously, V equal to C, so the relative energy is QQ over 40 epsilon 0 R over root of 1 minus C squared over C squared, which is 0. So the relative energy between every two charges is equal to infinity. What we can see from all this is that the potential energy of an electronic charge relative to another is infinite. What changed is the trace of the existence of this energy by the value of the force applied between the two charges. And this is related to the distance between the two charges.